Good morning, everybody, and happy Motivation Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend and you're ready for a fantastic sales week. I know the weather's beautiful almost everywhere around the country, so it's kind of that time of year when we really have to mentally buckle down and get ready to, really just go above and beyond. So knowing everything that's going on, I thought, what's one way that we could make this just a little easier on ourselves and maybe get more leads coming into us, and that's kind of through personal branding. This was a subject we have hit previously in the past really quick, but I thought, maybe we'd jump into some quick hits today that help us get, our personal brands up and going and help those organic leads come in a little easier. So thought we'd start with kind of a really good Jeff Bezos quote. Branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Extremely accurate. Your personal brand is what people think of you, what they believe in you. So just like he said here, it's what they think about when you're not actually there. So happy Motivation Monday. For those of you that are kind of new, the point behind our Motivational Mondays is that these are quick rah calls to get us up, get us going, and get us ready for this week. So we go through a tip of the week, so things that are going on here at AHCP. Then we take a look at our trends and kind of take a look at the people who are really just knocking it out of the park and what they're doing. And in the end, we're going to end in a sales technique. And this week, it's going to be personal branding. So started with the tip of the week, we're actually going to take a look at the tip of last week, which is our new Medicare supplement carrier, Renaissance. If you are not contracted with them, definitely reach out to agency services. They'll help you with that. You can take a look to what's needed there to be able to sell Medicare, so becoming AHCP certified. So that's out there. It's definitely on our website. I know you got a few emails about it, but just wanted to hit that again for you. And the tip of this week, usually we try to do one, but we have actually quite a bit going on. So I wanted to just go through a few quick hits for you. First one is the 2017 HSA limit is out. So it is $3,400 this year, just up $50, nothing too extreme. The Medicare open enrollment is also coming up. So that is October 15th. So if you haven't started getting ready to sell Medicare, do. If you haven't taken a look at that Renaissance, start taking a look, start getting your brain moving, because you know what, it's coming up quick, and that is right before the national open enrollment for major medical. So you can do a little bit of Medicare and then jump into the major medical market if you'd like. Another one is that we do have new NHIC training videos up on the training section of the AHCP website, so hcpsales.com. If you're not registered for that website yet, do. It's going to send you a link saying, you need to click this button to actually be able to access the website. So make sure to do that. And then the last thing is, if you've been selling in Montana, they slightly changed some of the information on what it takes to sell. There was an email sent this morning out to you, everybody. So take a look at that. You have to complete the federal training to sell ACA plans. That's kind of a given. But then now Montana has their own additional personal training. So if that is something you haven't completed or haven't really taken a look at, do dig through that email a little bit. We've put out everything that is needed for you to be successful and for you to sell there in Montana. So take a look at that email that was out. Kind of a few quick hits for you, just taking a look at the HSA, the Medicare open enrollment, the new training videos for you, making sure that you can go out there and jump in really quick, and then the slight changes in Montana. The point behind Motivational Mondays is we try to keep these quick and to the point for you. So we're going to take a look at the trends. It's actually a really fun sales week for us. So we had really steady short-term medical sales and short-term medical and major medical sales. So both Golden Rule was doing great with short-term medical as usual. NHIC is the leading factor there. As far as accident plans though, we had a really solid increase in our accident plans. So VBA, Golden Rule, they're each about 30%. The week before it was really NHIC's AHCP, so it's kind of fun seeing the changes there, seeing how we all know what kind of product to position to our client. We had a steady sales in critical illness with CBL leading. CBL is the one that traditionally leads. If you are not appointed with Colorado Bankers Life, call up agency services, find out what it takes. It's a really quick and easy appointment process, and that is one of our main sellers for critical illness. And then the last one here is our dental category. As well, a Golden Rule is just knocking through the park last week, so that is really great to hear. People are adding the dental sales. We actually had a huge increase in the dental sales. So in this year, we've been averaging more and more growth in dental sales, and why does that matter? Because that's the product your client's going to use right away. So yeah, as far as it goes commission-wise, no one really makes a lot off of dental anywhere, but it helps retention, which is so important in the insurance industry. Taking a look too, so our sales shout-outs, we're kind of jumping in. So we have Jacob Gordon, really knocked it out of the park there with the short-term medical golden rule. Brian Jarvis with the Triomed, just way above everybody in the Triomed sales, adding it to everybody, sold a lot of personal standalones. David Taxer with short-term medical. And one thing from last week, we had those guys that just keep ruling it. Well, we have 3 women that have solidly stepped into the ring. So Elaine second, really good with short-term medical and accident, and then dental. Her dental is phenomenal. Laura Smith as well in the short term. So the 2 ladies stepped it up really in short term. And then we have Kimberly Hale in the major medical market. She was far above everybody. So a really good week. Thought we'd kind of change things up with the Olympic medals with everything that's going on. So as usual, America's leading in the medal count here, and we are doing great as far as it goes in the sales count. So this week's sales technique is really going to be about being your own brand. I think it's really important as far as it goes to talk about branding, because that is what is the first thought that comes to your client's mind. Your brand, who you are, what's going on. Now, if you think about powerful brands, what do you think about? First ones that come to my mind were actually Nike, Apple, and McDonald's. They're all very powerful brands that people recognize. When you think about Nike, you think about sports and running. When you think about Apple, it's really modern technology, sleek, sophisticated. McDonald's is, cheap and quick. These companies have built a brand and specialize themselves, and these are important things that as sales agents that we do as well. We want people to know us. We want people to know what we do, because that's how we make our paychecks. So if you have a strong brand, people will want to work with you. It confirms your credibility. Now, if you remember talking about, 4 main steps of the sales process in the introduction, people have to like you, trust you, believe in you, and think you're a professional. A strong brand makes this already happen. It kind of makes the first point of your sales process almost obsolete, because you have already spent the time doing that and investing in that. There's actually some really quick, easy ways to do that that we're going to run through today. The most important things with your brand is that the client knows what you represent. Because if they know that, then they're going to come to you, and your strong brand, it just flat out equals more money. So taking a look here too, let's jump into the branding. So in the past, the concept of branding was really called building your reputation, but because of what has happened with technology and social media, it is really so much more now. The concept of branding has greatly changed, I'd probably say in the last 10 years. Your brand now is going to be accessible by millions of people, and now it's all about the digital you. When you start building your personal brand, I think there are 5 main things to think about. The first is the importance of being seen as an expert. When you're building your brand, you want people to know that you're actually knowledgeable in what you're selling. People want to work with experts, especially in our area, because with health insurance, if something goes wrong, the client could be out so much money. So you're helping people with something so valuable, not only with their health, but the security of their family. Really, the point with health insurance, it is going to be financial security. If the big what if happens, is there something there that's going to make sure that you don't have to sell your home to pay your medical bills? To be an expert, you really have to be educated. That's why you're licensed. But you also have to understand the subtle nuances in the products. That's one thing that we're here to help you with. We have great teams. We have great things to reach out for where we can help you figure out what the products are. We have training videos for you. We have carriers online. There's so many areas where you can go above and beyond and make sure that you are seen as an expert. The second is really building relationships. Now, it's not just face-to-face anymore, but also because social media. You really need to have, kind of a professional Facebook page, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Have your friends and family like it. You need to start spreading. You have to get really involved in the community. The most successful sales agents are those out there building relationships in niches close to what their market is, so they can go out and they can have the leads just kind of come to them. Spend some time in the community, get to know people a little better, and then when people have questions, who's going to be the first person that comes to mind? You really want that to be you. But that also kind of goes with number 3, is really keeping it personal, keeping it professional, and keeping it relatable. So don't spend your professional time on other sites that don't relate. You You want to become that resource. You want to become that brand that somebody can trust. I will tell you, if any of my family members ever have a health insurance question, and half my family actually works in they're nurses, so they work in the health insurance industry, or work in health care, sorry. If they have a question on their health insurance, I'm the first person that they come to. The concept of branding, the concept of I'm knowledgeable, I'm a professional, they want you to come talk to somebody who knows what's going on. They want to jump out to you. So that is extremely important, but you also need to go out and meet people. Like we said, you could be an extremely useful connection. When people have a plan that they have a question on, they could come to you, but you would be surprised how many leads come off of that. You're educated, you're knowledgeable, you're licensed, you've been in the industry, you have seen all these different plan options. They haven't. So you need to be the professional, relatable, and personal resource that is out there. Another thing is, you really need to keep consistency in what you're doing. What you show makes a statement. You need to keep the same visual consistency as far as goes in anything that you're going to be doing. So if you're going to go out into the community and get really involved, you want to keep that professional demeanor. If you're going to be building out quick flyouts about what you're doing, that needs to be all kept consistent, consistent font, consistent logos. You don't want something Jimmy rigged to go out there. Think about when you're stopping by stores and someone gives you a flyer and it has all these different fonts going all different crazy ways. You're thinking, you're not the most professional. You're not somebody who I would want to work with. So really a big thing in this industry is what you show makes a statement. Always have your business cards on you. Always have that professional demeanor. Always get ready to answer questions. If somebody's sitting there kind of looks lost when you're talking, you want to be the one known for having that patience, being able to guide. You're knowledgeable, you're professional. That's what's out there in the industry. And I think another thing too, that just on the concept of your own branding, before we get into some quick hits here, is really knowing how to evolve with change. Change is going to happen every year. That's kind of one of the fun things about this industry. That's what I personally love about health insurance. I wake up every morning and who knows what's going to happen. We have to be honest. Because of that, your clients are more lost than they've ever been in their life. They're hearing all these things in the news, all these new concepts are coming out. They don't know what's going on. You need to be able to evolve with the changes that are happening, both in the social media front, but also in the health insurance front. So you can be seen as that trusted resource. For your brand, you want to be seen as, that expert, somebody who's relatable, somebody who's professional, somebody who that they can go and they can turn to. So it's really important to have the solid brand because it is going to bring more people into you and it's going to make things just a lot easier for you. Now, a brand is more than just the concept of just you. It's also going to be your online presence, as we kind of talked about. So that would be things like a website, any logos that you have out there. You need to keep everything very professional and very consistent. That's what's going to keep customers happy. So to kind of start talking about those quick hits, the actual physical things that you can do, we're going to jump into probably about 6 things here that are going to help you. The first thing is, if you want to have a solid brand, you really need to have your own website and your own logo. You need to have an online presence. If you don't have an online presence, you're actually missing a lot of your market. You'd be surprised. It says the age group's 35 and younger. The first thing they're going to do when they have a question is that they're going to go online and they're going to do search. If you're not online, not having a search, they're not going to really find you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So you really need to have that website because it's going to be your voice and presence. Clients can't physically see you as well. It's nice if you have a personal website. And we have a list of different places that can host your domain or your website information. We also have a list of areas that can help you build a website for extremely inexpensive. Since clients can't physically see you, this is what your face now is this website. So it's one of those things where it'll have a little bit of information about you, a picture about you, your phone number. They're really, really, really cheap to do. They're going to cost you probably less than a total of $100 a year. And if you can get 2 or 3 leads off of that you close, well worth your time. Nice thing about the website too, like we talked about, in any introduction of a sales call, the client has to think you're a professional and you know what you're doing. A nicely designed website is actually going to build your credibility. So how do you do it? You got to get somebody to host a website and you got to get a graphic designer to design your logo and your concept. Well, Big companies pay these people, thousands on thousands on thousands of dollars to do it. We're individual agents. We are independent agents. We're not going to spend our time doing that. There's a really nifty website out there called Fiverr. So I put it down. There's 2 R's at the end, kind of weird. But what it is that's an area for people who are in graphic design, website design, more of those people who specialize in those fields to go online and pick up cheap contracts to do. Honestly, logos, which I'm a huge fan of, you can get a logo on there for about $5. So they will build you, they will send you a portfolio of logos that they built for you. You get to pick it, and it's about $5. If you pay about $20, they'll put it on stationery for you. They'll show you how it would look on a website header. So it's really, really unique. Also on there, depending on the price, for about $20, you can get somebody to build your website for you. As long as it's basic, it's going to be about $20. Depends how complex you want to make it. It'll go up. This is a really fun website to play on. If you haven't done it, write it down, take a look at it. It is a great resource. It's going to help you with logos. It's going to help you with a website. And my favorite thing is that, it gives people an opportunity who are in the field that may be tied to a big contract to go out and make a little side money. So you're going to get some really unique concepts that aren't super prevalent in the industry. So Fiverr, take a look. So create your own website and logo. First physical thing that's easy to do. The second one, which I feel is kind of missed right now in the industry, is really differentiating yourself. If you want to be a good brand, you can't say, hey, I work in health insurance. That's not exactly it. It's really going to be, who do you stand for and who do you want to work with? What do you specialize in? It's important in health insurance to know, yes, we have all these great resources at our pocket, but you know what? If you can step into a certain area and say, this is what I specialize in, you're going to get a lot more leads. So do you specialize in just health and supplemental insurance, but for who? What type of people are you looking for? Are you looking for people who are recently laid off? Are you the person who's going to help them find the alternatives to COBRA? Those soon to be on Medicare, small business owners, maybe those on Medicare or that have recently been on Medicare. Those looking to create startups. Are you looking to work with small business owners? Think about what most of your clients currently do that you have, and you know what? You can really start differentiating yourself. I was searching online, if you haven't done this, do this, for health insurance agents and find out what they specialize in. You can take a look at, if you type in health insurance for starting a business, there'll be about 5 or 6 websites down, you'll start finding those independent agents. That is because that's what they specialize in. They'll say, so you want to start a business, it's a huge financial risk, let me help make sure that your health, and one of the most important assets to you, is protected. So who do you want to work with? You need to differentiate yourself in the market, because if not, you're just going to be in the sea of agents that are out there. As well as the next one is networking. Networking. Extremely important, that's out there. So networking is going to be a concept of different things. Our next one we'll talk about is social media. But strong brands have great networking. You need to associate yourself with people who work in like industries, not identical. You don't want to work with someone too identical. You want to work with people who are in like industries that can refer you leads and that you can refer back. So you do health insurance, maybe you don't do P&C. So hook up with an independent P&C agent and say that you want to exchange leads. Is there a local dental office that, if they have a lot of clients that come in that don't have dental insurance? My local dental office actually has an agent who has flyers out there about their products. So when the dentist finds out that people don't have insurance, they give them this flyer to contact this agent. There's things like that that you can talk to people about. My local doctor's office also has a health insurance agent who has flyers out there as well. So you don't have health insurance, here's somebody you can contact to help you. And it's actually an independent agent. So you need to go out, you need to network, you need to talk to people who are in the industry, maybe people who either use the product or have associated products. They're going to be great lead sources for you. These are going to be those organic leads that come in. Another thing too is make sure to get involved in any group activities out there. I have an agent right now. She's extremely active in the retired community. She's not retired herself. She's actually quite young, but she comes in and she actually does talks now in nursing homes about health insurance and the options after 65. It's really great. Things like that. I have another agent too who talks to local apartment communities, asks apartment communities, hey, can we put on an event for your residents? They spend $10, they buy cookies and punch, put it out, and they get a few leads off of that. Not bad ideas. that they know that's what they specialize in, is that area of income in the community, and they go out and they get a lot of leads that way. So really you have to get out and you have to network. Another thing is have a strong social media presence. This is something that's new within probably the last 10 years, something that not everybody's comfortable with. But you need to have a professional Facebook account. You have to make sure you're going to have a LinkedIn profile. That's a lot of people who search on there. These are professional accounts that you need to have. Now, the thing about having these accounts is not just setting it up. I can't tell you how many people just go, they just set up a Facebook account and expect it to work for you. Things with social media is you have to be active. What are you going to post? What is going to be online that's going to make your clients actually be interested? So that means you're going to have to be educated in what's happening in the market and find reasons to post. It's going to be an online presence. You want to make sure it's relatable, not offensive. I've had people as well, get Facebook profiles and start leading a lot on maybe things that aren't going to make all clients happy. So if you're going to have a social media presence, make sure that it is professional and that it is clean. But it's important to have. A lot of people will reach out to you. I have people who reach out to me all the time through my LinkedIn asking me health insurance questions. So have that strong social media promise. And the last thing too is that if you're going to have all of these different things out there, you need to have a brand promise. You need to have a single sentence in how it works for you. It's really what you want to be remembered for. So it's a promise, usually a single sentence. It's clear, it's a concise statement that explains what your brand stands for and how it connects with policyholders and prospects on more of an emotional level, since you're going to work with a lot of facts. Really what a brand promise is, though, it's an implied action. So I'd start with some non-differentiating functional features. So, hey, you have great competitive rates, great customer service, and then ladder up to the emotional or cultural values and form the backbone of your brand. So you're going to be providing outstanding, accurate information to small business owners to help protect the assets they value most, their family. That's a strong brand promise. It's one of those things that you have to sit and you have to think about, because how are you going to differentiate yourself and what are you going to do and who do you want to work with? Once you figure those out, you can have a brand promise, and guess what? You can post that on all your social media. You could actually even have that on the back of your business cards. It's going to be, what do you stand for? And overall, consistency, right? So consistency, 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 and persistency. Never give up and always go above and beyond. Your brand, people don't want to work with lazy people. Let's be honest. People don't want to work with people who can't do follow-up. People don't want to work with people who are inaccurate. Being a strong brand is about making a really good presence for yourself, being online, helping those organic leads come to you, but you have to keep consistent. And I thought I'd post this little picture that we've all seen 1,000 times, but it's the truth. The frog is getting eaten, but it's going to be strangling the pelican that's eating. Never give up. It's one of those things that, when the going gets tough, you just got to work twice as hard. So really, with the brand, it's going to be consistency and persistency. That is going to be the one thing that's going to help you go above everything else. If you're going to go and create that social media presence, it's consistency in doing that. You're going to get involved in the community. You can't show up to one event and expect that to happen. Being a good brand is really doing things over and over so you have that reputation built. Reputations aren't built overnight. Amazon didn't become a leading website overnight. Facebook didn't become that huge hit overnight. It took consistency and persistency. So I hope everybody got a few quick hits that they could take away. Really, if you could walk away with one thing, it is definitely worth your time that you're going to do. If you have any questions on maybe how to create a website or how to go through and create your own personal brand promise, please reach out to training@ahcpsales.com. That is what we're here for. We're here to help. Make sure that you are as successful as possible. If there's also any topics that you want to make sure are covered or any additional questions you have on product, let me know. That is what I'm here for. That website will go directly to me. And I think a good ending quote is really good, Jason Hartman. So your personal brand is a promise to your clients, a promise of quality, consistency, competency, and relatability. So that is something that's extremely accurate. That is the good takeaway. Let us know what you need. I hope you got riled up. I hope you're ready to take a look at everything that's going on this week. So keep your head up, smile hard, keep that brand consistent, and if you need anything, let us know, and have a great week, everyone.